question is, are you ready?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Monday night. We are rolling on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter/X, on Facebook, and on Twitch. It is episode 162 of the Throwdown. I'm your host, Matt, and tonight we are throwing down with a Florida-based wrestler, a guy who is another of the seemingly endless, amazing talents emerging from the House of Champions in Orlando. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Mr. Big Boy Patty. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me on. Really, it's awesome.
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to this. And for those of you that are watching this live, if you have questions or comments, just throw them in the chat, and we'll either handle them as we go or do a little Q&A at the end. And as far as Patty's social media goes, for the most part, I've got it all running on the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Hopefully I found all of it, but I think I probably did. But we'll go ahead and start with the first and the most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been wrestling?
Not the longest. It's almost been about 3 years, almost. So I'm almost there at that 3-year mark. I think it's going to be around early next year. I'm going to hit 3 years, but it feels like a lifetime already.
Yeah. You know, they say that the days are long, but the years are short.
Yeah.
And
yeah. That's a good example.
Very true. Very true. So, you know, aside from, I mean, has your training pretty much been strictly House of Champions, or have you trained elsewhere? And who all has trained you?
So I started off with the House of Champions, and I was there for pretty much my first like a year and a half of training. And then I went and started like exploring more places, which Jason Ayers has helped with a lot of my training, with bringing people in to train with me, and as well, you know, he's a fountain of knowledge himself, so he's definitely taught me a lot. And then as well, with the shout out to JCJ Gear, they as well have an open ring, and so I do a lot of work with some more Florida guys like Daniel Starling and Tyler Uriah and Icky the Reason on social media. So those guys have helped me with a lot of ideas and different moves and things like that. But yeah, I would definitely say that if at the HOC as well, recently with Bowen has came in and helped me a lot, and Bobby Fish, and so those are pretty much the guys who have helped for me. And for people that don't know, the HOC is ran by trainers Jamie Stanley and Kay Koa. So that group of names are the people that I basically, like, it takes a village to make a wrestler. So those are all the people who have helped me along the way.
Absolutely. And you know, I've gotten to know Jason Ayers a little bit just through having had Reese, his son, on the show, and we've communicated a little bit here and there, and he seems like a really good dude.
Yeah, so. Yeah, he's the best. He's a very, very kind person, and he's just done so. He's like gotten to work with more talent than I even know. It's insane. Like,
Oh
what's the
yeah,
phrase? He's forgotten more than I know. The dude
yeah,
just, he's been around forever.
yep. So, in terms of the early portions of your wrestling training, what would you say was the most challenging aspect of professional wrestling for you to wrap your mind and body around?
Oh, okay. I would say that, well, conditioning is always going to be a problem for a sport. So when I was in high school, I was a big basketball player. Not like big, like in good, but like I mean, like I played a lot of basketball. I played for my high school team, um, and I also played a little bit of football, a little like karate or boxing, like dabbling in other things. But when I got into wrestling, the athletics and the timing of everything was really hard for me because you really have to be on the same page as like your opponent. And I wouldn't say until like my first year in that I actually felt like the timing even like got comfortable because you still now when you do something new or something else, it just completely changes what you think you know. Like if you even change like one thing about your game, now you got to think of how am I going to get into this? How am I going to do this? If I hope that makes sense. But yeah, definitely the timing when I first got into it was so difficult because you have to learn this like unwavering trust for who you're in the ring with and a trust in yourself as well. And yeah,
Yeah.
that was super challenging for me.
Yeah, I mean, uh, the level of trust that you must have to do professional wrestling is just crazy because you're literally putting your health and safety in the hands of another person or persons, but at the same time they're doing the same for you, so it's sort of a give and take situation. But I
Hmm.
mean, so I mean, that's got to sort of deepen some of the relationships and the brotherhood.
Yeah, yeah. I remember Matthew Ennis actually had said it one time when we were doing like ring crew for this show when I had first started. I think it was for like Pro Wrestling Action. And he was talking about how when you do really difficult things with people, it makes you a lot closer. And like especially on these wrestling shows, I mean, sometimes before you get to wrestle your buddy, like me and Kuda, before we wrestled each other for the first time in a show, we were going to Georgia. So I mean, we're hanging
Hmm.
out 4 hours, 5 hours and change or whatever getting to Georgia to wrestle each other, and like we're talking and hanging out, and we're trying to keep each other awake. You know what I mean? All this
Yeah.
different stuff on the journey there to then wrestle. So it's like when you do this with friends or with even people, you get like these bonds and these relationships with people that you never would have expected, completely.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So, I'm presuming because this is generally the case with most people that I've had on the show, I'm presuming that you've been at least a fan of this stuff the majority of your life. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, I come up from like a everybody like my big brothers and my big cousins all love wrestling, so like we'd all watch WrestleMania together, like talking trash on who's the other person's favorite, that your favorite's gonna win. My sister, even like the girls in my family are into wrestling. My grandfather, who I basically was raised by, my grandfather, I lived with him with the majority of my life. He would always talk about like Gorilla Monsoon and like
Oh
this
yeah,
stuff and like you know what I mean. So I grew up in a family that loved the art.
gotcha. So, what would you say is your earliest wrestling related memory?
Ooh. Oh, okay. My earliest wrestling related memory. Okay, when I was like 7 years old, because I can't track like I know a lot of people could track like the first time that you watch something. I just remember seeing like in school, like people would like have like cups or like they would draw like Triple H and like Shawn Michaels and those guys, and I would see how like crazy they looked, and I was like, bro, like who are these dudes? Like they look like animals. So that
Yeah.
was always in my memory, but like the first memory I had was Hogan came to a GameStop in my town, and so I didn't grow up with my father. Like my mother had to work with two jobs, so I had a lot of people in my family having to help me. So I was like this little kid who wanted to go meet Hogan. When we get to
Hmm.
GameStop, it's a line out the door. Like I'm talking like everybody in Claremont wanted to meet Hogan. So I waited to meet Hogan. I went there early. I was waiting there maybe 6 or 7 hours before he came, and I had to have my cousin come, then he'd leave, and my sister would come to stand with me because I was a little kid. just waiting
Yeah.
all day to meet Hogan. And a whole day I'm preparing to make a promo. I was gonna be like, listen, brother, I'm the man, and I was gonna tell Hogan what's up. And then I remember I get up to him and I'm like, his hands. I remember his hands like were like this big, and like he shook
Yeah.
my little hand, and I was just like, "Can I get a photo?" And it was just the greatest thing ever. I was in the street afterwards with he gave me like the bandana, and like the boa, and I was like doing the poses in the street. And I remember that was my first moment because like in wrestling there's definitely the person and what they portray on TV, and like when you come up as a kid with no actual like mentors, you don't look at these guys as who they really are. You look at them as superheroes. So I
Right.
definitely know that in this day and age that there's a lot of things you could say about him, but I'm just talking about my memory. I remember going out there and being like, that was the kindest man I've ever met. He waited there all night to meet every single kid that was there. And I was in the street just wanting to be Hogan. I turned to an Ultimate Warrior fan like a month later, so I was so fake. But like, all I know is that, yeah, it was an amazing memory.
Well, for various reasons, fortunately or unfortunately, Hogan, gets a lot of criticism and such. But I mean, you can't argue with the impact the man had on the business that we love. So
Yeah.
and that's what I like to focus on is just the positives. And I mean, we're all flawed. We're all sinners in the sight of God.
Amen.
And
we all fall short of the glory of God.
Oh, for sure. Some of us more than others.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother.
Yeah. So, was there a particular point that you remember where your fandom kind of turned and you started to think, I think I could actually do this? What was there a particular point where you started to think, I think I could actually be one of these guys?
So I wish that I was like one of these kids like Destin and Reese, where I had family who could like finance my dreams. Because when I was like 11, I had a backyard fed, and I had my cousin who was like going on Google Docs and like printing out the fakest safety waivers ever. And like we'd have one buddy who had Sacco, but he's actually punching you. And I had like there was like these morph suits back in the day that you'd wear and it'd go fully over you, and they were really popular. I cut it up into like I had long red tights and I had the promo mic and I was Kevin Owens, and like we like you don't understand, like we went hard. Like I'm talking like I did a house show off of a bounce house once. Like I jump off and nobody caught me, brother. I learned the first biggest lie in wrestling, where it's "I'll catch you, brother." Nobody caught me, and so I take a tumble into like because like I don't know why there was just so many random things in this backyard, but there was like a laid out tent, and so I land on the tent like Batman, like with one knee and one knee up and the fist on the ground, and I shattered my ring finger. I shattered like my lower leg. And then after that, I was like, I'm taking a break from the wrestling, which I didn't. I kept getting hurt like an idiot. But like I never could do it seriously. So eventually, like you're having fun with your friends in the backyard, but then eventually, like, I don't know, I didn't keep up with it because it was like, I want to really wrestle like in a ring. Like I wanted to buy boots and really run the ropes and stuff. And I kind of put it in the back shelf of my mind, and I took sports that I could like go at for free, like basketball, football, stuff like that. And it wasn't until I was like 18 where I knew when I turned 18, it was literally like if I was going to the military. I knew when I turned 18, I could do whatever I wanted, and I'd be a pro wrestler. Because I would get no flack from my parents. Nobody could tell me no, because you need someone to sign you off, So I went to, right when I turned 18, I signed up for the House of Champions. I would say a big like push towards that, because during the COVID era, I fell off a little bit with wrestling, was when I saw Cody return against Seth. And like I saw that reaction from the crowd. I was like about 18 at that time. I was like, all right, I got to get that pop, brother. I don't care if it's in a bingo hall. I need that Cody return pop.
Yep. So, I know obviously that the physical side of this is very important, and that you guys, tend to spend a good amount of time in the gym. So what exercise in particular do you feel is most important to helping shape Big Boy Patty into who he is? Is there a particular exercise that you really like to focus on?
So I'm just going to be honest here. All right, because I'm a bigger guy. I've went through, my weight has fluctuated throughout my career. Like if you look before I started wrestling, I was a really big guy, and then I got into wrestling, and then towards like the first big boy patty run, like I was real skinny, and then now I've got a little bigger, and I'm working towards slimming down a little bit again. So I would say that I was never able to lose weight until I found something that like really could motivate me and make me who I was like the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like why now I've returned to my roots, because I took a break from training at the House of Champions. So for me, it's like the ring work and the blow up drills and the cardio that we do at the House of Champions is something that's always helped me stay. What's the word for it? Something that keeps you accountable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would definitely say that with the House of Champions, it's just intense cardio that we do weekly, and just putting in that work.
Gotcha. So, away from wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
Oh yeah, I have some random hobbies that you wouldn't expect. So I've always loved like comic books and superheroes and like horror
Mm-hmm.
movies and things like that. So I like to like write comic books and write like stuff like that. So I don't tell anybody. You won't see it on my Instagram. Maybe if you see a random account pop up, but I have actually a comic book online that I have like 30
Really?
chapters out. Yeah, and I don't tell anybody. I'm not gonna air it the first time on your podcast because it's the only thing that I can do that if it sucks, nobody has to text me about it. Nobody knows because they don't even know it's me. It definitely has my name attached to it online, but I just don't even claim it publicly because I just want to be able to do something that is not like serious, like that's not funny, like what's not fun, but that's not like with professional wrestling. When I do something, I have to send it to people that are really good at the trade, and I have to hear what they think of my work so that way I can get it better. With my books and my writing, it's just off of my opinion of it, and I don't want to hear anybody's opinion of it. And if the fans hate it, it's kind of like what I think is I'm forgetting his name right now, Quentin Tiro or
Quentin Tarantino. Yeah.
yeah, Quentin Tarantino said. He was like, listen, like these stories are published, but they're for me. It's completely selfish. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love stories. I've always loved stories.
Gotcha. So, we're mostly a wrestling related show, but we do dabble a little bit into pop culture. And my buddy Chris Page that does CCP podcasting. I see that you've got a segment with him where you like watch horror movies together and everything, and so. I'm always looking for recommendations. By any chance, are you watching or listening to anything really cool right now?
Ooh, okay. So I'm a little bit of a younger guy, so I'm rewatching like cult-based like horror movies that I haven't watched.
Oh, yeah.
If have you ever seen The Autopsy of Jane Doe though?
I have not. Is it good?
Okay. So that one is a newer one. That's a banger because that's not something I'm watching right now. But The Autopsy of Jane Doe is about two people who do autopsies, and they
Mm-hmm.
get somebody who has no signs of entry wounds or no signs of why she should be dead, and they start doing this autopsy, and it gets really wild. And I would say that if you watch that movie, it's freaky. It'll scare you. It scared I had to go. I was like, baby, I got to use the bathroom, and I'm taking my girlfriend with me to the bathroom. I'm not ashamed to say that.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm currently just rewatched like all the old Chucky films. So that's the
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
that I'm currently watching because I love Chucky. So I just
Mm-hmm.
I just finished last night The Seed of Chucky. Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so I was gonna rewatch the Scream films, but I feel like the Scream films for me is something I've watched too many times to really
Mm-hmm.
enjoy that rewatch. And I'm not a diehard Scream fan,
Yeah.
which might offend people, but it's just not. I'm more of like I don't take Scream serious. Like Ghostface for me, brother, I'm grabbing the gun, I'm sitting in the corner of the room, and he's never getting me.
Yeah.
He's one of the he's one of the worst slashers in the whole genre, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not into the rewatch.
Yeah. A movie that I caught recently that if you like horror and that kind of thing, you might enjoy is a movie called Weapons.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Oh, I have not seen that yet. I have not seen that yet.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's if you're looking for something pretty entertaining to watch, check it out. I saw it recently. It was pretty good.
What's the premise of that? It's like some children are getting kidnapped type of vibe.
Yeah, they basically a bunch of children in this particular little town all get up and walk out of their houses at a particular time in the middle of the night, and they basically just walk off into the night and disappear. Yeah.
Yeah,
I won't tell you anymore, but it's got some good little twists to it. So I think
if we ever do this again, we got to talk about some horror movies. I also am excited to see the new Black Phone.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw the first one of those and really enjoyed it. So
yeah,
yeah,
I didn't expect it to be as good as it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like the It movies for me. I didn't think I'd like the remakes.
Right. Yeah. I'm actually, I'm also a big reader, and right now I actually just started Stephen King's newest called Never Flinch, and it's pretty good so far. I'm not that far into it, but it's pretty good. I don't know if you
inspired me a lot for my writing, because I was kind of like, I write like I'll give you this. The book that I write is about like cowboy demon hunters.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty fun. I really enjoy it because it's like episodical. Like each chapter is just something completely different, But I love the way that he went about his writing, where a lot of people are scared to take that jump in making their own story. But he's like, screw the ending. I'll get there. I'm just gonna make chapter after chapter after chapter, and I love that.
Yep. So, outside of wrestling, what person inspires you the most and why?
I would definitely say my girlfriend. She's the love of my life, and she just like when you find that person in your life, like a person that it's real and serious. It roots you down, and you realize like, okay, I can have the best hip toss, or I could do the best arm drag or elbow drop, but I got to be a good man. Like, I feel like if every single person had somebody like that in their life that can hold them accountable, we'd be in a lot better world than we are right now. I'll tell you that, my friend.
Oh, for certain. And, I can say from the perspective of a guy that's been married almost 27 years, when you find that right person and you're with the right person, there is nothing like it.
Amen. Amen. Hey, praise to be God. Hey, praise to God, because that's all. God blesses us with things like that, and it makes us good men.
Yep, absolutely. So, this is going to be kind of a random question, but are you much of a coffee drinker?
Oh, yes, man. Yes. But my coffee is not what you're gonna think.
Okay. Well,
I drink black coffee.
I do too. I cannot do the cream and the sugar. To me, it makes it taste like a hot milkshake.
Yeah. But what are we here for? Are we here for coffee or milkshake?
Exactly. Well, the reason I brought the topic up is the Throwdown recently has entered into an affiliate partnership with a coffee company, Blackout Coffee. They are actually based in your neck of the woods down in Florida, and I'm actually gonna run a quick spot for them right now. And Throwdown Nation, as I've said before, I am excited to announce our partnership with Blackout Coffee. We had been looking for a while for a company to get into some kind of an affiliate partnership with, and it wasn't that easy of a process. We were looking for a company that makes a great product, but also a company that has similar values to those that we hold dear. And, here at the Throwdown, we also try to keep ourselves well caffeinated. And recently we ran across Blackout Coffee and found that they really checked all the boxes. The coffee itself is produced in Florida, and it's typically roasted, packed, and shipped within 24 to 48 hours after an order is placed, so freshness is a top priority. And the company itself is rooted in traditional American values. And the really cool part is if you like flavorful coffee from a top-notch company, along with the potential to help us here at the Throwdown to offset production costs, you can shop Blackout Coffee using the QR code on the screen, and we will actually get a small commission on anything that you happen to buy. And they have whole bean coffee, ground coffee, instant coffee, and K-Cups, along with a complete line of apparel and other merch for all your coffee needs. And you can use the coupon code Throwdown20 to get 20% off of your first order. So again, if you like coffee and you want to try something a little different, Blackout is the one for you.
That's awesome. Hey, if I had that sponsorship, it would get bad. I'd be drinking a lot of coffee.
Yeah, it's they make a really good product. So anyway, so you are you had mentioned you were from Claremont, Florida. So what is your favorite thing about Claremont?
Okay, yeah. My favorite thing about Claremont is that it is growing. And from when I was younger, like we have a President's Hall not too far from my house where it just like shows American history. It's been there for a very long time. So I like to go there, and me and my buddy Justin went over there, and we saw this photo, and it was from 1972, and it showed all the orange groves, how beautiful it was. But when people start moving here, we've had to grow a lot and expand. So it's not that rural area it once was, but Claremont still feels like a very small town, very small city, and everybody knows each other. Like that's why when we were doing wrestling in Claremont, Showcase of Citrus, and literally when I go to, it feels cool. I'm like below a Z-list celebrity, but in Claremont, when we go to like a Publix or somewhere, like my lady could confirm it. It sounds like I'm ribbing, but it's the truth. Like I'll run into a lot of people that I get to see at the shows that see me wrestle all over the place, and it's just really nice because it's that sense of like communion. Like everyone knows each other, everybody knows somebody that knows somebody, and it's nice. It's very like even when you see people leaving the parking lot, everyone's helping each other. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely, and there's a lot to be said for that. I mean, living here in Metro Atlanta, I mean, it's even as far out as I live from the city, it's still there isn't really the small town feel that there is if you go an hour further north. I mean, so but yeah, there's a lot to be said for small town America for sure. So, they say that the best wrestling personas are usually pretty much yourself turned up to 11. So tell us a bit about in-ring Big Boy Patty and kind of compare and contrast him with everyday you. How did you kind of develop your character and all of that? So just tell us about your in-ring persona.
So even down to the name Big Boy Patty is just me. Since I was like 8 years old, I've been trying to figure out different ways to really per se become somebody. You know what I mean? But like obviously as you grow older, your opinions on that as a sentence changes. I am somebody. I am Patrick Villafane. I don't need to necessarily prove anything, but this is my pursuit, professional wrestling. When I was younger, I used to do YouTube videos. I used to do some crazy stuff, man. I used to do some crazy stuff. I used to have people come to like basketball parks, and I would host like boxing events, and I would have everybody added on their social media. I would do the whole flyering to try to get my name on as many different accounts as I could. The police would come and shut down my events, and it got to the point where if I even started something, 5 people showed up and we had a camera out, it'd be shut down. And I had my account name as Big Boy Patty because I've always been a heavier set dude, always. And even when I was a little baby, I was a chubby little baby. Now, it doesn't mean I'm condoning it. eat healthy, man. Eat your vitamins and be healthy. I'm just saying that I am a big boy. So
Yeah.
when I was younger, my YouTube channel was always Big Boy Patty. And when I started wrestling, it was kind of during a midpoint in my life where I was moving in with my brother. I was like 17, 18. I moved in with my brother because my uncle, who's like a father figure to me, sadly had passed. And so I was moving in with my brother. And when I moved in there, I had no means of income. I was broke. I was just out of high school. And I told him about this professional wrestling thing, all the dreams that I had. And he was like, listen, if you stay here, I'll help you. But you got to be a damn man. You got to work for your living. So
Yeah.
he took me down to where he would work when he was a teenager and like older, which is close friends of ours, the Parliers, who run like the biggest, like the best gator farm in Florida. And so I was working as a butcher and a farmhand. That was my first real job. And when I was working there, I was doing the wrestling as well, and that was paying for it. So I come up to Renee and I'm like, listen, I want to be like Ric Flair. I want to just wear trunks and I want to do knee drops and the figure four, and I don't want to have a character. And she was like, but you are a character. Like, you yourself are like a gimmick. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
what do you mean? She was like, your YouTube and Instagram is already Big Boy Patty. You work on a farm, bro. Like, I would come to work with like dried blood on my shoulder. Like, it was a whole gimmick, and people would make fun of me. It was nasty. Don't do that. You will get heat. I'm just saying that I would come to practice right after work. And so I started doing basically the farm hand character in professional wrestling. So it's me. I definitely would say one of the standout things if you watch me wrestle, besides being like a Southern cowboy, is I do like a big yell to the crowd. Man, that's just because I want to be Sting. I've always wanted to be Sting. I had his poster on my wall since I was a little kid. So I knew when I did wrestle, I was going to have some type of yell. And it might even be different in a few years if I'm working for a company and I can't get the rights to it. But that will always be a part of my character because Sting made me feel like professional wrestling was the greatest thing in the earth.
Oh yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to be Sting?
Brother,
I mean,
brother, he's Sting. He's Sting.
yeah.
So, yeah.
You know, it's funny. I mean, growing up in the South, I was very much a WCW kid. I mean, and growing up during the span of time that I did, I was around for that Black Saturday where McMahon basically bought the rights to the old WCW time slot,
You
and
thought Sting was coming over.
and because of that, I had a very bad taste in my mouth for WWF for years. I mean, I would not watch them for years just on general principles. I was so mad at what Vince McMahon had tried to do. I didn't start watching WWF until I was in college. Around 1990, and that was around the time that the Undertaker showed up. So I remember in college seeing early Undertaker, and I was like, wait, that's Mark Calloway, because he had been in WCW previously, and so I was like, well, that's interesting, and so at that point I was like, well, I guess I'll have to start watching this,
Yeah,
so.
that's
But
awesome.
yeah, I've always been a kind of a team WCW guy. I've always wondered what would have happened if WCW had won the Monday Night Wars. It would have been interesting to see what, there's all kinds of what ifs.
Yeah, that would be an insane, insane, insane scenario. I
Yeah,
don't know.
for sure. For sure. So tell us about your very first match. What was it like? How did it go? What were your thoughts? What was the first match like?
So I would say that I did like a Rumble spot, but I will not call that
Mm-hmm.
my first match because in a Rumble, you're kind of just punching and kicking, so there's not really a
Right.
lot of thought. And like I felt like I had some family there, but I was almost in the background to the actual show because you can only do so much in that, especially if it's for younger green guys, just trying to get a match in. So my first match was against a buddy called Logan Law, and we wrestled. It was like the first match of the show, I believe. I was a babyface, and my whole family came to the show. and it was so much fun. I felt over prepared because I did so much training, so much tape studying. Like I still to this day, I watch tape till my eyes bleed because I love it. But as well, you watch it a little differently once you get into wrestling, because instead of watching it as in that was awesome, you go, oh, maybe I could do this, but I don't want to do it just like that. Maybe I could add this style to it, this spin. So I felt like I was just over prepared for this first match, and there was definitely some holes in the match, but I'm very proud of it. We had a lot of fun. I took a bump on the post on the outside because I'm insane on my first match. A bump on the ground. I regret that bump to this day. But it was a great time, especially because me and Logan are pretty good buddies, I would say. So we went out there and we actually met up a day before it came to open ring and called this whole match, and we went through some ideas of what we wanted to do and work some submissions in there. So I would say it was awesome. I have great memories of my first match.
Gotcha. So, we've heard about the first one. Now, if you can narrow it down, tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of.
My favorite match that I've been a part of. So I would say that my favorite match that I've been a part of was the Legacy of Champions match. It was basically in the House of Champions we have weekly or not weekly, monthly shows, and then every few months we'll have a show that's ticketed because most of the shows are free. So then like every few months we'll have a show that's for tickets and you got to pay to go. And then at the end of the year we have like our Mania, which is our biggest show of the year. And last year we did this match where it's basically like a rumble. There's entrance. And you can actually, once all the entrants get in the ring, I believe, you can be it changes the match, and so you can actually lose by pinfall instead of just elimination over the top rope. So in that match, I did a story build up with my coach Keikoa for a year. We wrestled each other. I never beat him. It was always like if you are getting close to beat me, I will use by any means to end this match because my student cannot beat me. And so and Keiko is amazing. He's an amazing in-ring worker. And at the end of the year, it was me and all my buddies, and we did this huge story payoff, and I won the championship. And they all held me up on their shoulder, and my buddy Kuda was bleeding all over. And I would just say that watching it back, I mean, it was a great, great, great match. For where I was at in that level, I think that I executed to the best of my ability, and everyone else around me did tenfold. Trying their best, giving 101% effort, and it was just one of the greatest experiences ever. Especially because when the bell rang, or when the bell like rang to like over, like I'm the champion. I didn't like go to the back. Like I stood up, and then all the fans just walked up to the ring, and like I cut a promo about my uncle passing and dedicated that match to him. And people that I never met were crying. That I never met were crying for me to win. That I won. And my nephews get in the ring, and my little cousin comes up to me crying, and I'm like, hey man, you can do whatever you want to. And even though this is at a very small scale, I mean, to my little cousin, seeing me win with all these people involved, it was an amazing family experience, and I'm forever grateful for it.
That's beautiful, man. So Chris D over on YouTube says that you are his HOC champ.
Oh, I appreciate that.
So, if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic?
Okay. I will say this: if I could only be one, I would want to be great in the ring. Now, a lot of people would disagree with that, but what got me into wrestling, like really like loving wrestling, was like Ring of Honor and like NXT days, where like when I'm watching Neville and Sammy's rivalry, the promos was not what I cared about. I wanted to see the Red Arrow, I wanted to see the Blue Thunder Bomb, and so like everybody has their own flavors of ice cream. And I don't think anybody should be discouraged for what your flavor is. I've always been the guy that likes the in-ring stuff, and the in-ring stuff is what matters. Because like when Bret Hart will tell somebody I'm the best there is, the best there, you know what I mean? You believe it because it's like nobody can work like he can, and I don't care what you say because Bret will call you a fake wrestler, and that makes it feel like demeaning. So it's like I definitely could say that like I love the promo work. If you want to be the best of all time, you can't be missing on both. You know, you got to have both. But if we're talking about what if I could only have one, I definitely rather be a Brett than like somebody who can only talk, which you see a lot nowadays, who can only talk and can't work.
Yeah. Yep. And I've mentioned this before, but seeing guys that are really strong in one area that put in the work to get good in the other really is inspiring. Like for instance, when AEW was first starting out, MJF was amazing on the mic. And I mean, he's never been a bad worker, but but he was noticeably better on the mic than he was in the ring. But he has put in the work to where he is now a very good in-ring worker as well as just an unbelievable talker. And it was kind of the same thing with Will Ospreay. Amazing in ring, but when he was over in Japan, he didn't have that much opportunity to talk. And this run that he's had in AEW, where they're letting him talk and everything, I mean, he's amazing in both aspects.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's amazing at both.
So, so do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? A match that you just find yourself kind of gravitating back to, and there's always some new little something. Do you have a match like that?
So it's funny because I have two, but they're both
okay.
There's one constant in both, and both of them have Samoa Joe. I have so many other favorite matches of all time. Don't get me wrong, but if I'm talking like favorite matches, like somebody comes over and I'm like, you need to love this professional wrestling thing, and they're like, why? And I'm like, shut up, here's why. It's Samoa Joe versus Necro Butcher.
And yes.
Dude, that match is my favorite of all time because of the lore behind it. Now, whether the lore behind it is true or not, when you hear that Joe is getting revenge for his students, and then you see that match happen, you're like, Joe's the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the other match that's up there with me is Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi.
Yeah.
Those two matches for me are just like the...
Yeah, Joe, it's funny. I had not seen the Joe and Necro Butcher match until actually a guest on the show recommended that match to me. And the next day I sat down and watched it, and I just had my mouth open the whole time. I mean, just the sheer brutality and violence in that match was just insane. But I loved every second of it. But I was just like, I can't believe these two men are doing this to each other.
And it's not one of those matches that you watch and you're like, I want more of this. Because it's like I feel like you can hit a little bit of like it's too much now. Like if you watch too many of those matches. But that match is a match of matches when it comes to violence and the story and the build to it, because it's not like they were having promo segments or anything, but when you hear what was going on in the territories when this match went on, it made you want to see that fight, and that's what they delivered on.
Right. And like you were saying, it wasn't violence for the sake of violence. There was a reason, that there was an actual, whether the lore is true or not, but there was actually a real world reason for the match,
Yeah.
So
a standing 10 count as the finish was incredible. There's the TKO for the finish, and that's what we're going with. I love that.
Oh, for sure. So piggybacking onto that question, do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan?
Ooh, all-time favorite promo. Ooh, okay. So this one's a little bit of a personal one for me. I would say my favorite one is Bray Wyatt's farewell to NXT. So Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt, I had a poster of Bray Wyatt in my room since I was a young kid. Like I've always loved Bray Wyatt. My first time I went to an actual WWE show, I got to see Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. I still have the video of it this day, and I was like 11 years old. I've always loved Bray Wyatt. But the promo is like, he's leaving to NXT. He's going to the big leagues, and he cuts a babyface promo in NXT where he's a heel, and he's like, "Today's the day where pigs fly. Today's the day that I'm gonna make a change." And it's like, oh my gosh, like goosebumps. You believe in Bray Wyatt. I would say that's definitely my favorite promo of all time. If anybody hasn't seen it, like go on YouTube right now and watch it. You either one, gonna cry, or two, you're gonna want to run through a brick wall.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I was watching the Crown Jewel with my wife yesterday, and have you seen the Cena and AJ match? You know, when they were doing all of the classic finishers, when Cena hit Sister Abigail on AJ, I got choked up.
Me
You know,
too. And
because
yeah,
I was just like, wow. I mean, that was just such a touching moment. You know,
yeah.
I mean, and seeing the legitimate emotion between those two guys when they were doing that match was just, I mean, you know, that whole match was just goosebumps.
It was literally like Triple H said it, and it's like people like throw around this phrase too much now to where I feel like it's a little bit watered down. But that was actually what it means to have a match as a love letter to wrestling.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that was just beautiful.
Yeah. And him looking up at the sky too, Cena just looking at the sky,
I know.
acknowledging, his friend is gone, but he's still here. I was choked up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in your opinion, at this very moment, who are the best male and best female wrestlers in the world? One man and one woman. Who's the best man and who's the best woman?
Okay. So the best woman wrestler in the world, I would think it has to be Toni Storm.
I won't
Uh,
argue that.
yeah, I think that her character work is legit timeless.
Yep.
I feel like she could be in any era, and the stuff that she says is very provocative. So I don't know how that would translate to a company like WWE, but I feel like if you
Yeah.
do if you do put her in WWE, she has to be Toni Storm. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's not like I'm sitting here and like that's the type of characters I normally gravitate towards because I'm very much like a Daniel Bryan type of guy, Bret Hart type of guy, But like still, when you watch a character like that, I went on the Jericho cruise and I just got to see her work with her entrance theme. It's just a full package. Everything works. Um, and then the best male wrestler in the world right now, um, hmm, that's a difficult
It's
one.
it's
I think
tough.
that I'm gonna have to say honestly, I have to say Cody Rhodes. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, I would love to say Seth Rollins, but like Cody's the type of babyface where it's hard to be a babyface champion. Like that's difficult because like if you're a babyface champion, what's the hill to climb unless you're Samoa Joe? But like
Right.
when he gets put in with the right people, everything he does is money.
Yep. I won't argue that for a minute. So speaking of Seth Rollins, have you seen today's Raw?
I saw the clip of what happened, and I'm like, I knew it was happening, but I was like, maybe a little soon, but I still am happy they did it.
Yeah, I'm glad they pulled the trigger. But yeah, I was. It was one of those things you knew it was coming eventually, but I was shocked that they went ahead and did it. You know, I've heard some different theories. I've heard some rumors that that Seth actually got injured in the match with Cody, and that they're basically going to try to quickly get the belt off of him and kind of write him off TV for a while. So I don't know. That could be part of the reason, but
Yeah.
yeah, when it happened, I was like, well, I knew this was gonna happen, but wow, you know,
Like today, like
yeah, I know. So, and this can be present day or past. Who would be a dream opponent for you? Who would you love to have the opportunity to share a ring with?
um, so it would definitely be Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay definitely. It was funny because he will never remember this ever. But we were on the Jericho cruise, me and my little bro Reese, and we were hanging out, and we got to be around a lot of the AEW guys. So me and Reese are doing
Hmm.
karaoke on the stage with like Will Ospreay. This was really cool. We were doing karaoke with Will Ospreay, like Danny Garcia, Michael Oku, and a lot of those guys. And
Oh,
at the
that's
end, I was,
cool.
I was, yeah, it was really cool. We got to hang out with a lot of cool people on that boat, man. It was amazing. All God. But after I'm talking to Osprey at the end of it, I'm like, hey, thanks so much, like for singing with me, and my little bro. Like this was sick. Like we love your work. And I was like, personally, like, it's definitely a dream to wrestle you one day. And he's so humble. He just like bows and he goes, "It'll happen one day, brother. It'll happen one day." And now, if it happens, that would be just such an amazing full circle moment. And
Oh, for
I don't think
sure.
anybody should ever cut themselves short. So I would definitely say that I would love to be able to rise to that occasion and be able to have just a banger with Will Ospreay.
Yeah, yeah, he's. I mean, he is just otherworldly, and I'm hoping for a good and full recovery for
Yeah, man.
him. You know, after the neck and back surgery that he's had. You know, hopefully he can. You know, because with those kinds of surgeries, it's just so tricky. Some people come back from them fine. Others, you know, it's really very situational. It's person to person. You know, so hopefully it all works out and he has a good and full recovery.
Yeah, I agree, man. Really, really, really. It hurts when one of those when one of those top level guys get hurt. It hurts for the
Oh,
whole
I
division.
know. It does. It does. So, of your cohorts that are out on the indies right now, who do you think has the best walkout? Who presents themselves in the most unique way on their way to the ring that you've run across?
Best walkout out of everybody. Ooh, that's a little bit of a tough one. I gotta say, Skits from CCW has an awesome entrance. I love Skits' entrance. And I would as well say, if I had to say somebody else, oh, Bud Heavy. Bud Heavy has an amazing entrance. Like, Mississippi Queen. And Bud
Oh
comes
yeah,
out there with the beer. Like, dude, I'm running through a brick wall.
that's awesome. So, what is your favorite move? What is something you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
Okay, so I would say the move that I love to do, which like my favorite moves of all time, I can do, which is awesome. My two favorite moves of all time are the Orange Crush from Kenta Kobashi, which is a vertical suplex and you throw them into a power bomb, and then
Hmm.
the other one is a diving elbow drop, which I do that one as well, and it's because I love Macho Man, and
Oh,
Shawn
yeah.
Michaels. I do more of the Shawn Michaels, than the Macho Man elbow. Um, but the move that I won't do. So the move I don't like taking is like I will take it. It's not that I won't, but I don't like taking the Tower of London that much with the DDT because like
Yeah.
a regular DDT already kind of sucks if you take it like nicely, like you take a really good one. Which some people might disagree. I'm not as agile as you guys. All right, so it sucks sometimes. But when you take the Tower of London, like that's a high angle impact, and if you are protecting yourself on your shoulder, it's a huge jolt on your shoulder, and it just sucks.
Absolutely. So, you've been doing this long enough that I'm sure this applies to one degree or another. So I'll ask you what hurts right now.
Oh, brother, my lower back, my lower back is killing me.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And over the course of the time you've been doing this, what is the worst bump you have taken?
Worst bump, worst bump, worst bump. Apron bumps usually suck, but I would say that I was doing like the not the Sami Zayn dive because I don't got ups like that. But like
Mm-hmm.
I did the Kevin Owens type one. I saw Kevin Owens do it. Other people do it besides Kevin Owens. But when you run, you just put your hands on the top rope and you base off of that. And I did it with Casey Vi and Reese and Jason Caesar. And I kind of just slipped right between the middle of all of them. And I just took a flip bump from inside the ring to the outside of the ring. And the adrenaline made me go like but I was like like brother, I took a bump on the outside from the freaking in the ring. It sucked.
Mm, I can only imagine. So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling, specifically indie wrestling?
It's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing that you can use. I feel like even like saying that, I definitely don't use it as proficiently as I could. But you can take over the world with your phone. in any aspect. I mean, there are people that are making millions of dollars a year off of their phone. So anybody who thinks that this is not something that's important, I mean, you're just not paying attention to what's around you.
Gotcha. So, knowing everything you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Any advice to your younger self? Ooh, I would say don't do that flipping DVD. I did a flipping DVD onto Reese, which is like you hold them like the attitude adjustment, and then you do like the cartwheel thing. And
Yeah.
I didn't really know how to do it that well, so I kind of let go of him, and then I just did a cartwheel on my neck, and my neck has never been the same.
Yikes.
I would tell myself, don't do that move.
Yeah. Yeah. Hindsight being 2020. It's so do you have any pre-show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
Um, I'm a Christian, so I like to
Hmm.
pray before I wrestle. I like to pray before every match, whether that's with the opponent. I usually ask them if they're okay with that, if they're open to that, if I can pray over us. If not, then I like to pray before the match starts, or pray even in the ring, which I don't. So I feel like prayer to me is something that's very personal. So I don't always pray in the ring because I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to just do it for show.
Right.
But if I'm just running so busy that I will step in that ring and pray.
Oh, absolutely. And you should, because it's there is a definite element of danger to what you guys do, and
You could
and
die.
just and just asking the Lord's blessing over your endeavors is definitely something that you need to do. I mean, I pray before every live stream. I mean, I'm not in any danger, but I mean, I just pray that it's a good product, and that we're doing what we can to be a conduit for God's light and glory.
Yeah.
So
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, I completely agree. And even though it's nothing dangerous, I mean, to have the Lord just bless you with what you say and to spark good conversation, I definitely think that's an amazing thing to do.
agreed. So just a quick rundown here. What all do you carry in your gear bag, and do you carry anything unique or unusual in your gear?
No, the only thing that I carry that's like a good luck charm type of thing is I wear this bracelet, which has my uncle's name, which is John Villafane. And I
Hmm.
wear this every day with me. I wear it in the ring. I've worn it. I've had a few of them because I lose things, so I've lost one. I don't think it's the specific bracelet that holds value, but just holding my family's name because I started wrestling and I started taking bets on myself because I saw too much of misery in my family. So I definitely say I wear this in every endeavor. In my gear bag, the only thing I keep in there is like KT tape just in case, or I'll keep like my hairspray. Because brother, I'm spraying my face, my hair, everywhere. Everything else is pretty normal though.
Gotcha. So Chris D says that Kid Kuda is jealous of your success.
Oh yeah, man. Kid Kuda. Well, guess what? Watch next month because I think I saw Kid Kuda book, and I might just slap the face off of Kid Kuda.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do
I'm gonna slap
sometimes.
Kid Kuda into a man next month.
You're gonna make a man out of him, huh?
He's not gonna be Kid Kuda.
Yeah, he's gonna be Man Kuda.
He's gonna be Man Kuda.
So, over the 3 years that you've been doing this, have you found that you have a favorite venue to wrestle in? Is there a particular venue that you just really love, or are they all kind of the same to you?
So there's been certain venues that I've definitely had a great time at, like certain theaters that I've went to work at. I feel like for me, it's like I want to wrestle in the Full Sail venue. That's my dream venue. Like that's where I fell in love with professional wrestling. But if I could say like a venue that I love right now in Louisiana, LWA, the Pit. I mean, I love that venue, and I'm hopefully gonna be wrestling there soon. That's definitely one because it reminds me of like old NWA. And so I would definitely say that one right now is one that has my eyes.
Gotcha. So something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we have allowed the current guest to pose a question for the next guest. And so a previous guest on here by the name of El Payaso Enigmatico posed this question, and that is, have you ever crapped yourself during during a match? And if so, what spot led to that happening?
No, I've never crapped myself during a match. No. I don't even know why I thought about it, but I've definitely ripped one. I ripped a fart in the match before.
Yeah.
And you know, I just had to get it out so I could keep going. You know, better out than in. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. So sometimes you know you've got to just let it go, man.
Gotta let it rip, brother.
So since this is part of a series, do you have a question that you would like to ask the next guest?
If they drink an energy drink before the show, what type of energy drink is it?
That's actually a good question. How would you answer that?
I think I like the white monsters or the pink monsters. I'm a big I like the monsters though, or that, or like an Alani or something.
So what flavor are the white and pink monsters?
So the white monster is almost like a what's the word that I'm trying to think of right now? It's like a gusher almost. Like it takes like, you ever had those little candies, the gushers?
Oh yeah.
It tastes just like that. And then the pink one is kind of like just a more spicy version of that. And I like the pink one. The pink one tastes more like, brother, this is unhealthy. But the white one tastes like candy.
Gotcha. So we're getting toward the end of things now. So do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to?
I'm wrestling Terry Kidd again for the local pro championship on the 24th for local pro wrestling, and that's going to be a banger. That's probably one of the most exciting. I have a few other shows I'm going to be doing, but those are kind of disclosed to now, so I post the graphics because I don't know for sure what I'm doing. But I'm going to be doing some stuff in Indiana and some stuff in Georgia.
Very cool. So as far as what we've got coming up on the Throwdown, I've actually got to kick it back here just a second. Tomorrow, Tuesday the 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 163, and our guest is going to be pro wrestler Gigolo Josh Valen. He's based out in Nevada and California, so he's more of a West Coast guy. But he seems to be actually doing some pretty entertaining stuff.
Heck yeah.
And then next Monday, the 20th, 7 p.m. Eastern, episode 164, and our guest is legendary world-traveled wrestler, the King of Controversy, Austin Aries. Definitely excited to get to pick his brain. Because he has had quite a storied career, and he has wrestled about everywhere there is to wrestle. So I'm sure he's going to have some entertaining stories and some unique perspectives on the business.
Yeah.
And then next Tuesday, the 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern, episode 165 with Destin. I know he's a buddy of yours.
I love that kid.
Yeah, he seems like somebody that's got a very bright future ahead of him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's super talented. Insanely talented, Destin is.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to have him on because, you know, like I said, I've seen some of his stuff, and you know, his reputation kind of precedes him. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah, well,
But But man, this has been an absolute blast. So
Yeah,
thank you
fun.
for your time. I've
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed this. And for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and such, thank you for that. If you like what we have going here, definitely check out the link tree in my Instagram bio. That's got all of my various socials, and go on there and do the like, comment, share, and subscribe thing. And before we wrap this up, do you have any final words for the audience, Patty?
God bless you all, and I hope everybody has a great week and just stays tuned to this podcast. I know there's a lot of great streams to come and some great people to visit. So I just thank you so much for this opportunity again. It was a blast. I'll do it anytime.
Absolutely. So until tomorrow night with Gigolo Josh Valen, be good to each other, love each other, and let's keep throwing down.